Welcome back, everyone. On today's episode, we have ourselves a new project, which is this busted ass Honda Civic. Oh my gosh. I had this, actually, it was mine. I purchased it, I would probably say almost 10 years ago. And it had a single cam. Actually, I have the single cam inside. Give me a second. This is the single cam that came out of that husk of a vehicle. It was quite reliable till one day that I believe it was, I went to go start it up, and all of a sudden I started hearing a rod knock. It's a VTEC. You could tell because the VTEC solenoid, obviously. A lot of people think just because the spark plugs are placed in the front, it's a VTEC, but honestly, that's not entirely true. The strange thing about this engine is the distributor. If you are very familiar with Honda distributor, you will notice that this one is quite larger than what is recommended for this engine. Also, if you notice, it still has the manual transmission attached. There's nothing wrong with the transmission. It's actually in really good condition internally. Externally, you could see it has been, it's been quite exposed to the elements. For how long, you ask? I would probably say at least 3 years. I had the car parked back of my mother's house for 3 years. There's a long story behind that. What made these single cams so great was the fact that it was not only compact, it also was very fuel efficient. Back in the 90s, not too many people put stake when it came to these engines. They normally just pretty much gas and go. There was very little when it came to modifications, when it came to these engines. But when people started noticing Hondas more and more, they started modifying these single cams. And these single cams, you know, they're nothing to laugh at. They're cute and small and all, but you could really dish out some pretty serious horsepower when it came to these things, especially nowadays that now that technology has advanced to a point where you can actually utilize every bit of the single cam with barely even touching the internals. So when this single cam was in that car, when I first bought it, I did not paint the valve cover red. It came that way. And yeah, anything red that you see on there, I did not paint it. It came that way. And even if I did, I definitely would not have painted that intake manifold red. I would just paint the valve cover. It would have done a hell of a better job than this.
Brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
I mean, they barely prepped it. They just went and just sprayed it, and it just looks like they didn't even put any primer underneath. It was just a straight spray. So we are looking at the front of the engine. How we could tell it's the front? Well, because of the exhaust manifold. But not only that, it was because if you would look at the traditional 90s Honda Civic engine compartment, the exhaust is facing towards the radiator. Even though this engine and transmission combo is out of the car, it still has its usage. The top end is in very good condition. By the looks of it, it is entirely intact. We've got the exhaust manifold and the catalytic converter. These engines always came with just a single catalytic converter. It has always had been mounted in the front, never underneath the chassis, like you would see nowadays. No matter how old a catalytic converter is, just as long as the inside is still intact, it still has some value. If we look on this side of the engine, which is the transmission, it still has the engine mount bracket and the clutch fork. power steering pump is right over there. From the looks of it, it looks like they also painted that too. Did they? Yeah, they did. Yeah, they painted it black. If we look at the timing side, it also still has the engine mount bracket, has the power steering pump, power steering belt, alternator belt. The only belt that's missing, well, the belt is still there for the, this is the AC belt, AC compressor belt, but the AC compressor is gone. I don't remember exactly what happened to it. I think I gave it to charity or something. And now we're facing the back of the engine. As you can see, how red his intake manifold is from from poor choices, not by me, but by the previous owner. I do not know what they were thinking, but wow, okay. I guess it looked cool the first time, but yeah, never held up. Also, as you can see, it still has the oil filter inside on it. Inside, it still has the oil filter on it. The oil pan itself is aluminum. Not all single cam came with aluminum oil pan. The earlier models always came with the steel oil pan painted black from factory. As we continue to look behind this engine, I don't know exactly what this is. My guess is probably for emissions use. Enough about this engine. Let's head back to the Civic. What's that? What are we going to do to the Civic, you ask? Well, we are going to chop this up because we have nowhere else to store it. It is a complete eyesore, and we have lost the title to it. So let's take a closer look of this exposed interior. As we look inside the interior, you can see that there is glass everywhere. The reason for that is because something crashed through the back window when it was parked at my brother's place. He believes it was a branch, but it had to have been one hell of a branch to actually shatter this back window. When I used to live down in Palm Beach County, cops did not like vehicles with blacked out taillights. I believe I got pulled over twice because of it. One time, the first time I got pulled over, the car was actually impounded because I made the dumb mistake of driving the car with a different license plate. So don't do that. We are right back at the front of the car. The subframe is still in place because if it wasn't, these wheels would not be on. So let's take a look at the parts that are still intact. The subframe is still intact. Damn. I don't know if that's how it's supposed to look like, but the rear engine mount is still there. This right here is for the heater. That's still there. Let's see, what is this? I believe this is for the power steering. No, actually, no. I'm wrong. That's the fuel line. Yeah, that's the fuel line. That's the fuse box. Front suspension is still there on both sides. This is for the brakes. Huh. Oh, damn. Still has a little bit of fluid in there. Okay. All right. Again, I did not paint this blue. The previous owner did. So, yeah. All right. It's going to stay right there. Both the wipers are still here. Look at that. Wiper 1, wiper 2. Some of the harness is still in place. That is not the main harness for the engine or the ECU. That has already been taken out. So that wraps up today's video regarding this Civic. There'll be plenty of more videos to come, especially when we begin to chop this thing up. That is going to be so much fun. Labor intensive, but fun. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, folks, progress, no matter how small, is progress overall. Peace.